It is time for us to choose who we serve, God or the world. Let's talk about that. Hi everyone, welcome to Manna for Thought. The prophet Elijah in 1 Kings 18 verse 21 said this to Israel: "How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, then follow him. But if Baal, then follow him." And the people answered him not a word. Halt between in this verse is important. It means to be undecided, as if to hop back and forth from one opinion to the other. Opinion means to be divided in the mind. Remember, God sees man's heart, which is synonymous to the mind, not the outward appearance. Baal is a Phoenician deity, a heathen god that the ancient Canaanites believed was the god of fertility. The children of Israel were chosen by God, but they wrestled with worshiping an idol or worshiping the God that chose them. But Elijah called upon them to determine whether the Almighty God or Baal was the self-existent supreme God in their lives. It's easier to serve and honor or give attention to a deity that has no emotional connection. But one may find it more difficult to serve a God that requires a deeper personal relationship. Remember, we have a high priest that understands the feelings of our infirmities. Today, idolatry remains a powerful tool that the devil uses to turn us away from God. That instead of an ancient form of Baal, we sometimes honor success, physical pleasure, or material goods that divert our attention away from serving God. The people of God need to be mindful that we are in the world, but we are not of the world. But what does hopping between two opinions look like? I've had an Android phone for many years, but I recently got an iPhone. I like it. It's easy to use, but I find myself going back to Android. Why? Because I know my way around it. We have a long-standing relationship. There are two different operating systems, but I find it costly physically and emotionally to have both phones. So I have to make a decision. Either I'm going to go with Android or I'm going to go with Apple. James 1 verse 8 tells us that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. When we are caught between two opinions, we are double-minded, unstable in our emotions or actions or decisions. There's no foundation in our thinking. It's like a train running through a million thoughts, thinking about the past, the future, or the things that went wrong or could go wrong. Even if we begin with a pure desire to serve God alone, this determination can drift away if we allow ourselves to be distracted by earthly idols. We need to be grounded in our thinking so that we can make conscious decisions. So the question we should be asking ourselves is this: who or what has our heart or mind? Who or what are we serving? Are we, as Elisha, single-minded toward the Lord? Or are we as idolatrous Israel, not rejecting God, but not rejecting the things of the world? Romans 12 verse 2, Paul told the Ephesians, "We are not to conform to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that we may know the perfect will of God in our lives." The goal of a transformed mind is to become like Jesus Christ, to think like him, to love others as he does, to have his mind in us. So choose today who you will serve. Because no man can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other. I'm Allison Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on Manna for Thought.